This text conversation is a great example of passing shit tests, dealing with obstacles as they arise. It's also a great example of just the general tone that you want to have, where you're flirtatious and where you're not afraid to give the girl a shit test as well. A lot of guys are like walking this like very polite tightrope with girls. They're so afraid of messing it up. If you're too afraid of messing it up, you will fuck it up, okay? Understand that I've already taught you guys how to deal with silence. Right? You know how to deal with silence, so don't be so afraid of it. Don't be so afraid of messing it up and taking it to silence. All right? So go hard kind of in text, or at least like play to win as opposed to playing to not lose. So without further ado, let's look at the texts. So I start off with, hey Feisty, her name, it's Todd. She replies, hey Mr. Todd, it was a pleasure meeting you. That's good. That's very, very positive. Now, just to get you caught up to speed on this, that is a very, very good interaction. I ended up meeting her with a friend of mine. It was her and her sister and me and my friend. We ended up going, taking them back to their place, and we were gonna party with them, but then her sister kind of backed out. And she was super good to go. In fact, all night her sister had been kind of pulling her away, and she was like angry at her sister for pulling her away. So she really, really liked me. The obstacle here, and I know this because of the talk we had on the way home, is that she's leaving town in like a day or two. So there's a lot of urgency here. So we're gonna try and like get her out as soon as possible. So her reply again was, hey, Mr. Todd, it was a pleasure meeting you. So here I go, ditto, smiley face. What does your schedule look like for the next couple of days? Here I'm kind of cutting to the chase, right? And the reason for this is A, it was a really good initial interaction. B, when she's saying, Mr. Todd, it was a pleasure meeting you, that's pretty positive as well. Also, I have a time constraint, so I just want to kind of get to it faster rather than slower. So I'm cutting to the chase a little bit. She goes, I'm actually super busy the next 2 days, and then I'm heading home until the 2nd, sad face. Now, I kind of already knew this, as I said. I kind of had an idea that this was her schedule. I was hoping maybe it would change, maybe there would be time to fit me into it, etc. But it's good that it's explicitly there, so now we can work around the problem. So from here, I'm going to reply, yeah, it sounded like that was the case. Still, I think we can both agree I'm more than worth fitting into your schedule, winky face. Okay, here, I'm actually sort of instigating the shit test, right? Not necessarily the shit test, but I'm instigating a flirtatious frame. I'm being a little bit pushy, but in a fun, cocky, like flirtatious way, all right? And this is the vibe you want to have. Be willing to give her shit test. Be willing to assume that you are a high value person and assume that she likes you. It's much better to assume she likes you and throw out something a little bit cheeky than it is to be super bland and boring. Do not be the boring guy via text. You don't want to send any text that is so obvious and boring that she could have completely anticipated it is a bad text. Okay, so here I'm instigating a little bit. And now she's going to give me the shit test. That's definitely debatable, Mr. Todd. Okay, so she gives me the shit test. However, I don't reply for about 24 minutes. And so now she's actually afraid she messed up. And so now she's going to qualify herself and solve the shit test anyway. Now, just ignoring the shit test and waiting actually isn't a bad strategy overall. I did this completely by accident. I didn't even get the message. But you can see how like nervous it made her. So now she's gonna double text. She says, I'm kidding, but I really do have a lot going on. However, I'd love to hang out with you when I'm back in SoCal. So that's great. That's all positive. The problem is she's back in SoCal in like a month because I know her schedule. We talked it through. I don't want to make this last a month. I'd much rather get her out before then. So we're gonna keep playing for that, but we're gonna play it a little slower since we're getting the shit test and whatnot. So here, I forget any idea of making plans, and I just pass the shit test. So I forget about plans, and I say, so you agree that I'm unquestionably amazing. Smart girl, winky face. Right? Just pass the shit test, just assert your frame. Let her deal with that. So she responds with another shit test. I didn't get the I'm full of myself vibe yesterday, but I'm starting to get that vibe from you today, winky face. All right, cool. So now, this is a shit test again, but it's also interesting because a lot of times the shit test, one, it's testing your frame, testing your ability to handle it, testing how much fun you can be, that kind of stuff. It's also, though, telling you what to do and what not to do. So on the one hand, she's testing my frame and seeing if I'll back down, seeing if I can like get out of the situation, just give me a hard time in general. At the same time, she's actually giving me good feedback. She's telling me, look, I like you, don't be so cocky. You're a little too cocky, okay? So what I'm gonna do here actually is I'm actually gonna go cocky one more text because I can, because I need you to pass the shit test, but I'm gonna understand in the interaction going forward to drop the cockiness and be a little more genuine. Like she's telling me what buttons to push with her, so I'd be stupid if I didn't listen. Although I do need to pass the shit test, so my response is, how did it take you so long? You seemed so perceptive, tongue out. Okay, So I didn't like jump in and say like, I am the shit, I'm amazing. Instead, what I did is I just turned the shit test around on her a little bit, stayed playful, stayed fun, whatever. And so now her response, she's gonna give me yet another shit test. Guess that alcohol may have affected my ability to read people, winky face. So now she's saying like, oh, I don't know if I'd like you sober, etc., right? But the fact that she's like responding, playing into this, give me the winky face, it means she's enjoying it, right? So what I need to do here is I need to figure out a way to win the frame battle a little bit, but to win it in a soft, fun way so that she doesn't have to lose. That's the secret to shit test overall. You have to win, but you have to win in such a way that she doesn't lose, all right? So my response is, yeah, you have a point. I thought you were clever and charming, but that was probably just the alcohol as well, slanty face. Okay, so here again, I'm putting the same thing back on her, but I'm softening it with a compliment. I'm not saying, yeah, you're a bitch and that was the alcohol or something like that, right? I'm not saying like, yeah, I guess you're lame or something. It's very complimentary, it's very positive, as in I have a really good first impression of you, I'm looking forward to seeing you. But at the same time, it has that little biting comment of the alcohol thing. So now she's gonna respond with, maybe or maybe not. Guess we're just gonna have to reevaluate each other the next time we encounter each other, winky face. So that's positive. Now she's hinting at plans, okay? And what did I do? I didn't try and make the plans. I just passed the shit test, handled the vibe, changed her mood, not her mind. And now all of a sudden, because she's feeling aroused by the situation, because she's enjoying it, now she's kind of hinting at plans. So I reply, I agree, what are you up to tonight? And she goes, had a chiropractor appointment, but there was way too much traffic on the 405, so I wasn't gonna make it, sad face. At this point, I know she's in her car alone, right? And like, she has nothing to do really. So at this point, I actually picked up the phone and tried to get her on the phone because I knew that if I want to get her out on a short lead time, get her on the phone is one of the best ways to do it. So I pick up the phone and try and call her. There's a whole segment about that, about when to call and what to do on the call. That's a whole other module, so watch that as you get to it. But I picked up the phone. However, she didn't pick up. So she didn't pick up, and then I texted, I thought I'd make your drive more pleasant, but I guess not. So then she came back with, haha, sorry my phone was on my lap, but it was on silent, LOL. So what did you have planned for the night? Question mark. And so as you can see, we've taken this very shit-testy girl and we've taken it from a lot of challenging frames, a lot of that kind of stuff, to now, again, within the last couple of texts, suggesting making plans with me. So she's pushing things forward. I've turned the situation around. So she says, so what do you have planned for the night? I say, done with clients in about an hour. What's your view on drinks and witty banter with cute company? And she goes, I would love that. So as you can see, I turned this around from shit tests to I would love to hang out, right? That's a great transition. That's what you want to see.